There is now an abundance of images presented in video format showing biblical giants in fossilized form that some people believe are merely natural rock formations and naturally formed mountains. But a lot of these so-called natural rock formations and mountains look humanoid, and there's no mistaking that these humanoid-looking rocks are mud fossil giants. In this video, I will present to you information that will show how these giants were so well preserved in their fossilized form, and why they ended up that way. I will use information from the Book of Enoch and the research and findings of mud fossil researcher Roger Spurr. Be sure to check out my video entitled Fossilized Giants to find out how the giants came to exist to begin with. So let's begin. Let's start with chapter 9 in the Book of Enoch. And then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said to one another, The earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. And now too the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men, make their suit, saying, Bring our cause before the Most High. And they said to the Lord of the ages, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, the throne of thy glory standeth unto all the generations of the ages. And thy name holy and glorious and blessed unto all the ages. Thou hast made all things, and power over all things hast thou, and all things are naked and open in thy sight, and thou seest all things, and nothing can hide itself from thee. Thou seest what Azazel hath done, who hath taught all unrighteousness on earth, and revealed the eternal secrets, which were preserved in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Simjaza, to whom thou hast given authority to bear rule over his associates, and they have gone to the daughters of men upon the earth, and have slept with the women, and have defiled themselves, and revealed to them all kinds of sins. And the women have borne giants, and the whole earth has thereby been filled with blood and unrighteousness. And now, behold, the souls of those who have died are crying and making their suit to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have ascended and cannot cease because of the lawless deeds which are wrought on the earth. And thou knowest all things before they come to pass. And thou seest these things, and thou dost suffer them, and thou dost not say to us what we are to do to them in regard to these. So let's go to chapter 10. Then said the Most High, the Holy and Great One spake, and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said to him, Go to Noah, and tell him, In my name hide thyself, and reveal to him the end that is approaching, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a deluge is about to come upon the whole earth, and will destroy all that is on it. And now instruct him that he may escape, and his seed may be preserved for all the generations of the world. And again the Lord said to Raphael, Bind Azazel hand and foot, and cast him into the darkness, and make an opening in the desert which is in Dudael, and cast him therein, and place upon him rough and jagged rocks, and cover him with darkness, and let him abide there forever, and cover his face that he may not see light. And on the day of the great judgment he shall be cast into the fire, and heal the earth which the angels have corrupted, and proclaim the healing of the earth, that they may heal the plague, and that all the children of men may not perish through all the secret things that the watchers have disclosed and have taught their sons. And the whole earth has been corrupted through the works that were taught by Azazel. To him ascribe all sin, and to Gabriel said the Lord, Proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the children of fornication, and destroy the children of fornication and the children of the watchers from amongst men, and cause them to go forth, and send them one against the other, that they may destroy each other in battle. For length of days shall they not have, and no request that they, example their fathers, make of thee, shall be granted unto their fathers on their behalf, for they hope to live an eternal life, and that each one of them will live 500 years. And the Lord said unto Michael, Go bind Simjaza and his associates who have united themselves with women, so as to have defiled themselves with them in all their uncleanness. And when their sons have slain one another, and they have seen the destruction of their beloved ones, bind them fast for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth, till the day of their judgment and all of their consummation, till the judgment that is forever and ever is consummated. In those days they shall be led off to the abyss of fire, and to the torment and the prison in which they shall be confined forever. And whosoever shall be condemned and destroyed will from thenceforth be bound together with them to the end of all generations. And destroy all the spirits of the reprobate and the children of the watchers, because they have wronged mankind. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and let every evil work come to an end. And let the plant of righteousness and truth appear, and it shall prove a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth shall be planted in truth and joy forevermore. And then shall all the righteous escape, and shall live till they beget thousands of children, and all the days of their youth and their old age shall they complete in peace. And then shall the whole earth be tilled in righteousness, and shall all be planted with trees, and be full of blessing. And all desirable trees shall be planted on it, and they shall plant vines on it, and the vine which they plant thereon shall yield wine in abundance. As for all the seed which is sown thereon, each measure of it shall bear 1,000, and each measure of olives shall yield 10 presses of oil. And cleanse thou the earth from all oppression, and from all unrighteousness, and from all sin, and from all godlessness, and all the uncleanness that is wrought upon the earth destroy from off the earth. And all the children of men shall become righteous, and all nations shall offer adoration and shall praise me, and all shall worship me. And the earth shall be cleansed from all defilement, and from all sin, and from all punishment, and from all torment, and I will never again send them upon it, from generation to generation and forever. So the Lord caused the deluge, or the great flood, in order to destroy the giants, and to destroy those of mankind which had been corrupted by the watchers. When the great flood started, imagine sea levels rising and spilling over onto land, and great tsunamis or tidal waves rushing over these giants and drowning them. Not only are the giants submerged underwater, but also buried under rocks, mud, and other debris that the violent rushing waters of the great flood forced onto them. Now the key word here is mud, which brings me to the subject of mud fossils. The best person to explain what mud fossils are is mud fossil researcher Roger Spurr. Roger has done extensive mud fossil research and has a YouTube channel entitled Mud Fossil University. I recommend that you check out Roger's YouTube videos on mud fossils because they're very informative in the area of mud fossil research and give nothing but cold hard facts backed up by actual scientific research. Here's an excerpt from Mud Fossil University's About page in the description section explaining what mud fossils are, and it says as follows. Mud fossils are perfectly preserved mineralized, now stone soft tissues due to continuous wet anaerobic mud packed conditions. On ResearchGate.net, Roger explains beautifully the difference between traditional fossils and mud fossils. And he explains as follows. Traditional fossils in dry soils are completely consumed of soft tissue exteriors due to decomposition. Normal oxygenated decomposing bodies literally explode from gases as they expand. Fluids are expelled from weak areas. Animals and microorganisms finish the job. Mud fossils decompose very little, and very little bodily fluid is expelled in mud fossils due to deep cold anaerobic compaction. You can read Roger Spurr's research papers about mud fossils on academia.edu and on researchgate.net. So the giants were buried under tons of wet anaerobic compacted mud. And anaerobic means occurring in the absence of oxygen. So without oxygen in the mud to start the normal oxygenated decomposition process, the giants were then preserved in this anaerobic mud. Without oxygen, the decomposition process is very slow and very little. Over time, after the waters receded, the giants' bodies eventually became mineralized or turned into stone. This explains why we now see mountains and rock formations that look like humanoid giants. So the next time you see a mountain or rock formation that has a humanoid looking form, such as a face, head, or body, then maybe it could actually be a mud fossil giant, at one time alive, long ago from the ancient past.